Good afternoon, everyone. Country Flyboy here, and today I'm going to do a quick little tutorial talking about charts. This is not really going to fit anywhere else. It's just a subject I thought would be worth talking about, but I didn't think I could fit it into a full video, so it's just going to be a quick one. So here we have the lovely Vfr Sectional Charts. Now, I'm sure you guys are well aware, aviation information, aeronautical information, whatever you want to call it, it changes very quickly. It's constantly in motion, and because of that, these charts need to be updated periodically. So how often are the different products we use updated? Well, sectional charts like this are updated every 6 months. En route charts are updated every 56 days, or about 2 months, and air racks are updated every 28 days, so roughly 1 month with them. Air racks, by the way, is the database of different aeronautical information. Airports, VORs, waypoints, procedures, stuff like that. That's the air rack. The actual charts are somewhat different, but they contain the information that the air rack contains. It's just presented in a different way. Now, if we want to use real charts for flight planning our virtual flights, a lot of us do, it would be helpful to know whether or not these charts are still current and accurate. Now, most of the time, services like SkyVector, FlightPlanGo, and 4Flight do a pretty good job of keeping their charts up to date. However, it is still up to you, the pilot in command, to make sure that these charts are indeed current. It was really easy in the days of paper charts, but it's getting slightly more difficult in the days of electronic charts. It's up to you to make sure these are current. And how do you do that? How do you know for sure that this chart is still current and good to use? Well, if you look on the side of the chart, you can see the information on the effective dates. So most people probably use World VFR, and that works, but you lose that sidebar of information. So you'll have to bring up the actual individual sectional charts on SkyVector to see this. This chart was effective at 9:01 Zulu on the 1st of February, and it goes until 9:01 Zulu and the 16th of August. So we have a few more months that this chart is usable, and then it's going to be not usable anymore. However, in reality land, things change even more frequently than the 6 months, 2 months, 1 month format of aviation charts. Case in point, if we go to Davis Field over here, Davis Field, you can see it has runway 36 listed as a right pattern. And if we were to bring up its information, it would say runway 36 and 18. However, Davis Field does not have runways 36 and 18 anymore due to the magnetic variation shifting from over here to over here. It now has runways 1 and 19. In fact, it's such a recent change that it's not current on here. They only just painted the runway's new numbers on it. So obviously that information is not present on the charts yet. So we need a way of making sure that the current information is available to pilots, but we can't just update the new charts every single time there's a change. Otherwise, we'd be updating charts all the damn time, and it would be too complicated to follow. How do we do that? Well, we do have these things called NOTAMs. Here I've brought up the NOTAMs for Tallahassee. Now, it's important to note that NOTAMs usually list temporary changes. Although there can be permanent changes made, most of the time these are temporary changes, and they're usually amendments to procedures or notes of construction on the field or temporary equipment outages. So here we have a NOTAM, Tallahassee. This notes it's for Tallahassee. Here's the NOTAM's number if you need to reference it. Tallahassee, yada yada yada. Taxiways Bravo 8 between Bravo and Charlie are a non-movement area. And if we were to bring up the airport diagram, taxiway Bravo 8 right here between Bravo and Charlie is a non-movement area. It's useful to know because if you looked at this, you'd be forgiven for thinking it wasn't, and it probably usually isn't. So that NOTAM is effective until the 18th year, 12th month, first day. So it's effective until the 1st of December. Let's look at this date format here. It takes a bit of getting used to understand this, But basically, you can divide this up into 2 number increments, except for the last 4 numbers, and they go from the highest value to the lowest value. So 18 is the 18th year. 05 is the 5th month. 07 is the 7th day. 1600 is the hour 1600 Zulu. So this NOTAM, taxiway Bravo 8 between Bravo and Charlie is a non-movement area, is effective on the 18th year, 5th month, 7th day at 1600 Zulu, and goes until the 18th year, 12th month, 1st day at 01 Zulu. Now, this is all well and good, but these come down to individual changes for an airport, or in other cases like FTC NOTAMs for larger procedures and routes. But we don't really... we need something else to let us know if this chart has changed somehow. We need something called the chart supplements. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a change log to see what the differences between this chart and the last chart are? Well, the chart supplement gives us that. Here you can find the chart supplements on the FAA website. This is what the chart supplement book looks like. As you can see, it has our change log for sectional charts, but it has a lot of other useful information available to us. We have a schedule for military aircraft demonstrations, space launches, as well as other helpful information, noise abatement procedures, controlled firing areas, night vision lights out operations, that's useful to know about. Lots of other very useful information. A map of Disney World, I don't know why either. And of course we have special arrival and departure procedures for certain airports, like the ones here at Hilton Head that I've gone over before. There's also one for Martin County Airport. And we have a special departure procedure for Bowman Field in Louisville, Kentucky. All of this is in the chart supplements, and a lot of other useful information is here, as you can see. But how do you get this document? Well, unfortunately, attaining this document in the days of digital charts, it's actually made it a little bit harder. Because if you wanted to obtain, say, the airport directory info, you could get it from the FAA, but SkyVector has it right here along with the airport diagram and all your procedures, departures, and alternate minimums and radar minimums. But what if you want to know this information I just went over? SkyVector doesn't have that. Well, unfortunately, the only dependable place I've been able to find it is on the FAA website. So, real quick, I'll show you how to get it. On the FAA's website, faa.gov, we go to Air Traffic, Flight Information System, Aeronautical Information Services, Digital Products, and here we have all the fun stuff. So we could go to Chart Supplements, and we can do a Chart Supplement search, and here we can search by date, search by airport identifier, both ICAO and the 3-letter identifier, NavAid name, you can find all of it, or you could go right here to VFR Chart Update Bulletins, and here you select the area you need to know what's been updated, in this case, Southeast. And it will bring you right to just the chart update bulletins of the chart supplements. If you were to go to the regular chart supplements, bulletin search, we want Florida, and we want Tallahassee. Here's Tallahassee. Of course, we have this thing, which we can get from SkyVector. But if we click the link right next to it, Southeast, this is the volume back pages. Click this link, and here is the full back pages, including the VFR sectional update information and all the other useful information I just went over. Let's talk about this VFR chart supplement updating thing. Aeronautical chart bulletins. These show us the updates that were made to the sectional charts between the different versions, as well as information that may not be on the chart yet. This is our change log that we wanted. So let's find the Jacksonville sectional chart, since that's where Tallahassee is located. Alright, so note it's divided into sections: obstructions, airports, NavAids, airspace, special use airspace, military training routes, and miscellaneous. Each section has the first date as February 1st, 2018, corresponding to the effective date of our sectional chart. So on the 1st of February 2018, there were no major changes under the obstruction category. This means that this chart, when published, was largely the same as the previous chart. There might be some differences. Maybe the background, like terrain and whatnot, has changed. Maybe a new lake, railroad track, whatever. But aeronautical information-wise, there were no major changes. However, on the 29th of March, there were changes. And note that on the 29th of March, that is only a month, really, 2 months almost, after our chart went public, so it would not be on the current sectional chart. This will not be updated until the 16th of August. But these changes are in effect right now. Let's look at this one. Add obstruction, 549 feet MSL, 322 feet AGL, at these latitude and longitude coordinates. So, there is an obstruction there that is 322 feet off the ground at this position that is not shown on this chart. Quite useful to know. And you can see there are other changes as well. 29th of March, there was a change to the Jacksonville class Charlie. Looks like some radio frequencies have changed. That not current on the chart. 118.0 was changed to 132.775. Let's go over to Jacksonville and see what we can see. Is 118.0 any of the approach frequencies? 3.8, 118.0. Here we got Jacksonville approach within 20 nautical miles, 118.0 above 5,000. So if we're approaching from this side, landing at, if we're going through the Jax area, approaching from the southeast, 5,000 feet and above, or above 5,000 feet, sorry, then 118.0. However, this tells us that 118.0 should be 132.775 now. The frequencies have changed. And that's it. That's really all I wanted to talk about. I guess while I'm here, though, I want to go ahead and mention something. So you see this little badge right here, this little icon? Circle with a cross for it. Now we know that means an abandoned airfield or a disused airport. There's an airport here, but you can't land there. Now, useful to know, we don't want to be landing at airfields that are closed down. There might be stuff there. But I want to show you something real quick. So we have this airfield just the other side of the river of Green Cove Springs. Let's bring up Reynolds Air Park and let's look at it on Google Maps here. So here's Reynolds Air Park, and the first thing you notice is, holy crap, that's a lot of cars. So let's zoom out, and just across the river, right about here, is our abandoned airfield. Does anyone see it? Anyone see it? It's right here. So what? We wouldn't be able to see that from the air. Now, we can see it quite clearly, and when you look at it, yes, it does look like, okay, that probably was an airport at some point. But the only thing that's there now is clear cut and somebody with a tree stand here. So what's the deal? Why does that show up on our charts? We wouldn't be able to see that from the air. Remember, when you're flying in the air, you're looking at this stuff from a much more shallower angle. It's actually quite hard to see things like this from the sky until you get right over it, and when you're right over it, you gotta look down out the sides because you can't look straight down. So why does that appear on the sectional charts? We couldn't use that as a waypoint if we wanted to. Well, sometimes they can be useful. Now, this is not shown on the charts yet because it just happened. St. Mary's here, I've done a video. This airport is closed down. It's been closed down for almost a year now. Unfortunately, this hasn't been reflected on the sectional chart changes. It happened at just the right moment that it hasn't been reflected on this sectional chart change either, which is a bit weird. So hopefully, probably on the next sectional charts in August, it will be reflected. But this airport is still here according to the sectional. Of course, if we were to look at it on the NOTAMs, you would see that airport is closed, airport's no fuel available, and the fixed-based operator is closed, and these are all permanent NOTAMs. Interestingly, they don't show up on the changelog. So, on the next chart change, that signal, or that symbol, is probably going to be changed to this. However, St. Mary's would still be usable as a VFR waypoint because, the airport is still there. It's just closed down. So I showed you this to make sure you know to be careful with your waypoints when you're picking them out for VFR flights. This symbol is here, so the uninitiated, you might think, oh, I could totally use this as a VFR waypoint. But you'd be completely wrong because you wouldn't be able to see that. Luckily, you do have Reynolds Air Park, plus this large bridge, Green Cove, Doctor's Lake, all this around here to help you identify that spot. But it's also useful to know you really shouldn't be relying on those. Now, this day and age, we are helped out because we do have things like Google Earth and Google Maps or Bing or whatever that you choose to use to sort of prepare us for what we see. But you should know that those aren't always current either. And unlike aviation charts, they don't show you when their data is effective and how old it is. So keep that in mind. Also, rest in peace, St. Mary's. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Caution, short runway.
Airspeed active.
Yes. Yes. Main engine start. 2, 1. Separation. Booster ignition. Lift off. Oh shit.